In this video, we're going to practice solving equations that have the variables on both sides. So let's take a look at our first example. Here we have 4 times the quantity, 1 minus p, equals negative 4p plus 4. We'll begin by distributing our 4, giving us 4 minus p equals negative 4 plus p. Oh, there's something wrong with my distribution there, isn't there? We have to make sure we take the 4 to each piece. So we have 4 minus 4p equals negative 4p plus 4. So here I see I have a p on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and move one p over to the other. It really doesn't matter which one. Just pick one and move it. So I'm going to move the green one. This one right there. So what's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So I'm going to add 4p to both sides, and that's going to give me a 0 right there. So I'm going to have 4 equals negative 4 plus 4, that's also a 0, and so equals 4. Oh, this is going to be one of our special solutions. Does 4 equal 4? And the answer is yes, this is a true statement. So that tells me that I'm going to have infinite solutions. And you can either write out the word infinite, or you can draw the infinity symbol. All right, let's go to letter B. Here we have 6m minus m equals 5/6 times the quantity 6m minus 10. So I'm going to go ahead and start by combining my like terms on my left side, and that's going to give me a 5m, and then I'm going to distribute my 5/6 on the right side. So 5/6 times 6, you can either do that in your head if you can see the answer, or you can put it into your calculator, and you're going to get an answer of 5m. And then we have 5/6 times negative 10, and that one might be a little bit harder to do in your head. So you can either take 5 times negative 10 and then divide it by 6 and reduce it, or you could use a calculator, and you would end up getting a minus 25 over 3. So here we have a variable on both sides, one on the left and one on the right. And so we need to take one and move it. So I'm going to choose to take and move the one on my right. Why not? So I'm going to subtract the 5m from both sides. So I did the inverse operation. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to see that 5m minus 5n, oh, that's going to be a 0 as well. So 0 equals negative 25 over 3. This is also going to be a special solution. So you need to ask yourselves, does 0 equal negative 25 over 3? And the answer there is no, that's false. That is not a true statement. 0 is not the same thing as owing somebody money. So this is going to be no solution. Let's move on to another example. So here we have 10k plus 7 equals negative 3 minus 10k. Well, there's nothing to combine or distribute here, but there are variables on both sides. So let's go ahead and move one variable over to the other. I'm going to move one that says minus. So that's going to cross that out. 10k plus 10k is 20k. So I'm going to have 20k plus 7 equals negative 3. And I'm going to solve. So I will subtract 7 from both sides. And I'm going to have a 20k equals a negative 10. Divide both sides by 20, because remember right now the 20 is multiplying to the k. And the inverse of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And k equals, and now we're just going to reduce this. And we're going to get a negative 1/2. So we get a solution here of k equals negative 1/2. Let's move on to our last example. Here we have 3 times the quantity, 2a minus 2, set equal to 2 times the quantity, 3a minus 3. So we see that we have to distribute. So let's begin there. So 6a minus 6 equals, gosh, 6a minus 6. So you might notice right away that my left side is identical to my right side. When that happens and both sides are identical, we're able to say that this is a true statement, and that's going to give us an infinite solution, which means no matter what number you plug in, it's going to work. Now don't worry, if you didn't notice that those were the same, you can still work out this problem and get the same answer. So if you hadn't noticed it, you would begin by moving one of your variables over to the other side. And I just go 6 minus 6a is a 0. So I would have 0 minus 6 equals, remember that one's what we crossed off, negative 6. And 0 minus 6 is a negative 6. And here we have negative 6 equals negative 6. And we can ask ourselves, is that true or false? Well, that's true, which means that we're going to have infinite solutions. So again, if you don't notice that your sides are identical, it's okay. If you just try to get the a by itself, move that variable over, you'll still end up with the right answer.